Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Going to read through the full article here. There's a link in the description. It is a tragedy. It's somewhat breaking news. I believe this happened within the last 24 hours, certainly perhaps within the last 12 hours. May have that slightly wrong. A boy 15 years of age has been shot dead, and two female students aged 16 and 18 are critically wounded after a drive-by shooting outside Iowa High School after classes had ended. Thankfully, multiple suspects have been detained. This happened in East High School in Des Moines, Iowa on Monday. Obviously, the school has been placed on lockdown. Residents are being told to stay away. One student said she heard 11 gunshots and screaming from the parking lot. Police say that shots appeared to have come from a passing car, and again, thankfully, multiple suspects have been detained. So that's a pretty good overview if you just want the bullet points, as it were, but I will be reading through the full details at this point. 3 students were shot, with one 15-year-old boy killed and 2 girls 16 and 18 critically wounded when someone opened fire outside a Des Moines, Iowa high school on Monday afternoon. According to police, the victims were taken to an area hospital where the teen boy died, while the 2 others remained in critical condition. The Des Moines Police Department tweeted at around 3 p.m. local time that officers were at the scene of the shooting at East High School just as classes were being dismissed. Police did not reveal the identity of the victims, but said that the slain boy did not attend the high school. They said the 2 female victims were students at the school. Des Moines Police Sergeant Paul Parazek said that multiple suspects in the shooting have been detained, but no charges have been filed at this stage. He declined to reveal any additional details. So we don't have any specifics really about either the students, the victims, the killed boy, or those suspects which have been detained. We have no specific details at this point. Police added that the shots appeared to have come from a passing car, as photos showed police laying out evidence for at least 20 markers for bullet casings. East High School is the 7th largest high school in Iowa, with just over 2,000 students, and is located about half a mile away from the state capital. The school was under lockdown following the shooting. Residents were asked to stay away from the area before students were cleared to leave at 4:30 p.m. Naturally, the school will be closed tomorrow. There's a picture of the school, East High School. Maybe this is a bit of an irrelevant thing to say, but what a fabulous building. Police said that they do not believe that there is a continued threat to the public. East High School student Kaylee Shannon told the local news that she was outside in the school parking lot when she heard the gunfire. Here's a quote from the student. "I was just sitting in my friend's car, and then all of a sudden I heard 11 gunshots and some boys screaming." Des Moines Superintendent Thomas Ahart told the Des Moines Register that school shootings have become a common tragedy in the United States. He added that the district would work on advocating to change gun laws in order to protect students and staff. So I've highlighted that because, I mean, that does seem to be a political comment. I don't know, and presumably none of us know, what gun laws he'd be looking to change, how he'd be looking to change them. I don't know what the gun laws are in the state of Iowa. I don't know. I just feel a little bit of hesitancy to have a knee-jerk reaction, but I don't know what the situation is. Obviously, the ability to do drive-by shootings is not good, but largely, I think, personally, this is a political comment, you may very well disagree, but personally, I feel that because you have, in many states in America, because you already have a proliferation of guns because the criminals have easy access to guns, as far as I'm aware, then I think it's inevitable that guns ought to be legalized. I mean, if the guns weren't there in the first place, then I'd perhaps disagree with that point of view. I'd perhaps suggest, well, you know, keep it that way, keep guns out of the system, but they are there. So I think you guys have the right to protect yourselves, and if that means having armed personnel within school premises, that makes sense to me. I'm sure there are downsides to that. There is in any position that one wants to take, but to me, having armed personnel within schools and other public facilities makes sense, because otherwise you guys are sitting ducks, regrettably, and your criminals do have guns. Of course, it's not only America. School shootings have happened elsewhere. The shooting in Des Moines comes only a few days after an 18-year-old football player was charged with shooting a high school administrator and resource officer at Olathe East High School in Kansas City on Friday. Yes, I made a video in regards to that shooting just a few days ago. One of the students, if I recall, I can't remember the details, but he shot at both a school administrator and a resource officer. The resource officer fired back and shot the student. I think he was a student. So there we go. Look, there's that article. I have skipped a few details. The article tells us about other recent school shootings. Ethan, what's his name? Ethan Crumbly and the parents being held responsible for providing him with a gun when they were aware of his adverse mental health situation. So it is, of course, an ongoing issue, and hopefully that resolves it. But I guess it's not going to resolve. This is going to continue. It has already continued for decades, perhaps. You've had school shootings, yeah, for decades, multiple decades. So it looks like it's not an issue which is about to go away, regrettably. So we don't know what the solution is. So all we can do at this point in time is pray, offer our condolences to the family of the killed 15-year-old boy and the critically injured students, the two female students, 16 and 18. We pray, we hope for their full and swift recovery. They're both in critical condition, as far as I understand. I'm not aware of any GoFundMes. It seems to me that GoFundMes would be appropriate for the victims, the families of the victims in this case. So maybe that's something to look into. I'll wrap things up here. Thanks for listening. Do like, comment, subscribe.